So the little video that I just made demonstrates the idea of iteration through iteration, right? So iteration is repeating something, iterate. So each time that I start the sentence, iteration and Karen, I'm iterating on the basic idea of making something many times, beginning and beginning again and beginning again, and just adding on. But also, each time you add on, you get to refine and think about what it means to grow a concept. So it's like one of the most important strategies for me as an artist is to start really small, start with relationships, start with what I'm capable of doing in that very moment. If I have a big idea that I'm really enthusiastic about, recognizing that there's a good chance that it won't come out perfectly as the way that I want it to, and I'm really happy to just flex with the moment. That's the kind of material element, is like the materials might take you in a way that you didn't expect. So when you're doing your creative project, you can think about iteration, making things, making them again, thinking of a more circuitous route. So often we think about projects as starting with maybe a good idea and then doing all the steps and then achieving that good idea as you imagined it. Whereas I sort of want you to think of, rather than a linear route from beginning to end, I mean, my dear friend Sean Curran, the choreographer and designer, he said to me, a creative project, it goes on forever. It goes on forever. It goes on for your whole life. It doesn't end. There isn't an end. There's just various iterations. There's various finishes. The finish could be, a big show in the Aotea Centre touring the world. And that's, at the end of that, there's a really good chance you'll still want to change something about it. Or the ideas, you'll have left part of that but taken another part of that idea somewhere else. So for me, my projects, sometimes they rest, I'll put them aside and rest, and then quite often they'll come back and make a new iteration when I least expected it and I thought the project was over. For me, this week, on the first day of the first full day of lockdown, a collaborative relationship that I've been working on for the last 3 years with a Chilean artist, it started again. So we're making something over the 28 days of the lockdown together between Chile and here. And I didn't expect it to happen. It just sort of emerged out of a set of conditions because he had festivals in Vancouver, Italy and Sweden all cancel on him, so he's at home by himself, and so we decided to work together again. And I thought we probably wouldn't ever work together again, but the project reignited itself with these conditions. So part of iteration is let's start again with what we had, let's go back to our ideas and let's develop them further, but maybe be open to the conditions of this situation, which are very different, offering really different constraints and affordances. So I'm going to make another little video about constraints and affordances, but there's a little idea about iteration. Some key things. 1, start small and then repeat, but repeat differently each time. You have an idea of what you might do, but you're willing to go in different directions, and then start again, but take it from a different time. So each time you do a new iteration, there'll be a slightly different orientation. A slightly different orientation. A slightly different orientation. A slightly different orientation. And then you can just find out what you're doing as you do it. So try that. Try iterating on an idea, building on it again, finding out the strange relationships that happen with others as you come into contact with them as you're doing it. They could be virtual, like social media relations or human relations with the people that you're in your bubble with. Or your buddies, if you show an idea partway through it, get some feedback on it and then reiterate it based on the feedback. Okay, that's all for now. Go iteration!